Apple is the latest company to really splash out on AI, but when will investors see an upside? This is Sectors Up Close, and we're talking AI. Apple says it plans to bring online a 250,000 square foot factory in Texas by 2026 to build artificial intelligence servers, and it will add about 20,000 research and development jobs. It's the latest in a series of multi-billion-dollar investments from major tech firms in AI, despite the market shock in January when China's DeepSeek revealed a similar product developed at a much lower cost. Will Rhind is founder and CEO of GraniteShares. Will, as you pointed out in your notes, investors bought the dip after the DeepSeek sell-off. Why?
Well, I think that the AI trend still remains very much the most important investment trend this year, and obviously has done for the last couple of years. So we've seen investment in terms of CapEx from the hyperscalers. Those are largely the largest of the large tech companies, actually increase by $100 billion year on year. So investment into AI is accelerating, and it's accelerating across the ecosystem, and Apple is just one example of this acceleration in spend.
In the wake of the DeepSeek news, though, shouldn't investors be asking bigger questions about the wisdom of throwing this much money at the technology if it can be done much more cheaply and using fewer advanced chips?
Yeah, I think, look, the reality of the DeepSeek thing is we perhaps will never know exactly the ins and outs of how that was achieved and whether the claims that were made really were that it could do a lot more with a lot less. But that being said, certainly investors have bought the dip in AI. The capex continues to accelerate. We've got Nvidia reporting earnings, which is the probably most important stock in the AI market, and we'll see from the earnings that come out, and certainly the discussion around earnings about those trends, and those will really be the guidepost in terms of how investors are thinking about AI at the moment.
As you say, pressure is on Nvidia to justify the valuation that made it the world's second most valuable company. Will it show that, do you think?
I think so. Like it has continuously done. I think that the expectations would be for another beat in terms of earnings, another raise. And I think the tea leaves in some respects already tell you this, because Nvidia typically reports, or is one of the latest companies to report in the cycle. By that time, you've had the other hyperscalers, the Metas, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Amazons have already reported. So they leave these little breadcrumbs for investors in terms of their spend and their commentary on AI. And from what we can tell so far, the demand for NVIDIA chips is just accelerating. The order books are full, have more demand than supply, and therefore this will be the key thing. No large tech company is trying to, get out of spending. No one wants to lose their place in the line, so to speak, in terms of the new Blackwell chips. So I think we'll see another good earnings report from NVIDIA.
How then should you play this as an investor?
Well, look, I think that AI is still something that is akin to fourth industrial revolution. It's like the start of the internet, in the late 90s. And so people, I think, are already positioned well in terms of holding stocks that I think will benefit from AI. So clearly NVIDIA at the top of that list. But as you look down the AI ecosystem, clearly it's not just NVIDIA that's going to benefit from AI.
Do companies like Apple and Microsoft have to demonstrate a profitable use case to their shareholders pretty soon?
I think yes is the short answer, and that's certainly where you see pushback from investors, and the bears that are taking the other side of the AI argument will sort of point to that increasingly as a point, or the main point of consternation around the big tech companies. But with AI adoption accelerating, I think the possibility or the probability that these companies start to see meaningful return on investment increases. So the use of AI agents, for example, and other forms of uses across the ecosystem will benefit some of these companies, those particularly that can deploy the technologies in the most useful way. So yes, people are nervous about the amount of money that's been spent, looking for evidence that there's a sign of a return on investment. And for companies like Apple, for example, that is largely the bull case in the stock is the use of Apple Intelligence or use of AI within the Apple ecosystem. And so I think it's something that investors are clearly, thinking about the forefront of making investment decisions. But as the ecosystem expands, I think that more use cases will come to meet.
That was Will Rhind of GraniteShares. Don't forget, you can watch more videos on Reuters.com.